Summary companies protests continue over reassignment of Amhara Special Forces explosion in Bahir Dar. 2 people Nairobi, April 11th. At least 2 people have been killed in an explosion in Ethiopia's capital, Amhara, shaken by days of protests against local security forces joining the national police and army. Members of Amhara's local army allied militia ignited days of protests in several towns and cities in region, saying they opposed the government's order to disperse join federal army or police. According to a police officer, 2 people were killed and several injured in an explosion in Bahir Dar on Monday. It was unclear what caused the explosion or whether it was linked to the protests. Mitiku Tegne, acting medical director of Addis Alem Hospital, the city, said 3 people watching football in a bar were killed and 15 injured the incident. In Debre Birhan, another Amhara city, banks, schools and government offices were closed on Tuesday after days of protests against the government's move. Residents said they could hear gunshots and heavy gunfire on the city's suburbs Tuesday morning. In a separate incident highlighting deteriorating security in Amhara, the Ethiopian Red Cross said unidentified gunmen shot and wounded a midwife and an ambulance driver in central Gondar area on Sunday evening. "We want armed groups to avoid such attacks and respect international humanitarian law," its spokesperson, Mesfin Dreje, said. The charity said 2 Catholic Relief Service employees were shot in the Amhara region on Sunday. 2 humanitarian sources there said World Food Programme had suspended aid distribution in the Amhara since Friday due to protests. Amhara regional government spokesman Gizachew Muluneh and federal government spokesperson Legesse Tulu did not immediately respond to requests for comment on explosion, the attack on Red Cross personnel, or WFP suspending its activities. Amhara politicians and activists have denounced government order that requires local troops from each of Ethiopia's 11 regions, which have some degree of autonomy, to be integrated into the police or federal army. They say disbanding Amhara's forces will leave the region vulnerable to attacks from neighboring regions, including Tigray, whose leaders agreed with the federal government in November to end a 2-year war that killed tens of thousands of people. Amhara forces fought alongside the federal army in this conflict. The news prepared Julia Paravicini and Hereward Holland, by George Obulutsa, editing Angus MacSwan, Ross and Alex Richardson.